Hi, all. We're having a great time launching this book, Never Give Up, stories of perseverance. It's been an incredible journey, speaking with the authors, about their stories of never giving up. Do you have a story of never giving up? We'd love to hear from you as well. But I'm going to bring up our next guest, Kohila Sivas. I've known Kohila for a couple of years now, probably 3 or 4 years. And Kohila actually was, let me get this darn book off of there. Kohila was actually the catalyst to us doing solo books. When I first had the idea of Action Takers Publishing, my whole idea was that we're going to do collaboration books and that's it. But Kohila reached out to me literally the next day after I had the idea and said, do you do solo books? And so we ended up launching her first book, Escape the Tutoring Trap. And then her next book, which was The Teacher's Epic Exit Plan. I have to say that one really slow, Kohila, because that's a mouthful. But here she is, doing these collaboration books with us as well. I've enjoyed this journey with you, Kohila, and I'm so thankful to you for, trusting us to share your message and get your story out there. So welcome today.
Thank you so much, Linda. Yeah, you have helped me a lot. I never thought I could write a book, so you made it possible, and I'm writing my third one. So
What's the title of
thank
the
you.
third one? Before we get talking about Never Give Up, what's the title of the third book you have coming up?
So I've been playing around with it. I haven't settled on it, but it's almost like personal development for kids. Is where I'm
Mm,
coming at it now from where I was before. It was Learn and Grow before. Fearless,
mm-hmm.
Learn and Grow Fearless was one of the titles I had working. I have this one. Let's see what shows up in the next few months.
And what I love about that you said that is that, some people come up with the title and they stick with it. Some people come up with a title, they change it. Some people don't come up with a title until the very end. My point here is there's no right way to do it. The right way is to finish it and publish it. Like that is the right way. And congratulations on you for diving in. And I love this topic of, personal development for children because, there's so much, so many directions a child can take and are an environment of, what do they say, we're a product of our environment. I was talking to somebody yesterday who is a twin and they have the same exact environment, and one went one way, became a criminal, whereas the other one extremely outstanding citizen doing really great things for the world. And so are we really a product of our environment? And they were asked, why did you go this way and why did you go that way? And both of them had the same exact answer. It was because of my upbringing. And so it was, one said, because of my upbringing, I decided I wanted something different. And the other one said, because of my upbringing, this is the way I must be. And so congratulations for, diving into that. And what's like the main message that you want to get out in that book that you have coming up?
It's for parents, so it's definitely for parents to, the life skills of parents involvement with kids are changing, right? Because we have a different dynamic of parenting happening right now, and I want to still address the foundation of parenting still remains the same. It's not going to change because there's chat gtp or AI is coming in, or it doesn't matter. The parenting is always going to be parenting, and we can't give up our rights as parents as well, and what we need to help our kids develop within the time they're with us. And that's how personal, like, we are all working on our personal development later in life.
Yeah.
Why not start it, early enough so we become aware of it even before it's kind of late after become 40. People are working on it. Why not start working on it earlier?
I totally hear you. I was age 51 when I started, so I totally get you. There's all those 51 years ahead, back that I wasn't working on that, and so I think it's a very important message. So thanks you for moving that way. We are talking today about this book, Never Give Up: The Stories of Perseverance, and you are a total never giver upper. I know, we just came up with that saying just a little bit ago, but you are a totally a never giver upper. And I would love for you to share, I know your story about what you're doing now and with the work that you do. I would love for you to share with us, like, at what point during your journey, have you felt like giving up but you were like, you know what, there's like this compelling, Napoleon Hill talks about it in Think and Grow Rich, right? This burning desire, Les Brown talks about it. You've got to be hungry.
Hungry.
And you have this hunger, this desire inside of you to keep moving in this thing that you're working on, which I want you to tell everybody what that is. But please share with us about, what you're doing. What is that burning desire that keeps you moving forward? Have you ever felt like quitting, but you were like, I just can't quit. I just can't
Hmm.
quit.
Hmm. But I did quit. And I quit big time by deciding to kill myself at the
Mm,
age of 13. So that's why this chapter is more powerful, is you're not going to hear from someone who didn't have like this. I took my life, I wanted to take my life out of the from this earth, right? So then when I was given back my life is when I knew that I will never give up. Everything is solvable. Doesn't matter what comes my way, I will solve it and I will figure it out. And first taste of that success came through, Linda knows that I am a math uh, freak or geek or whatever you want to call it, but I hacked math. That's just how it was. It was my therapy to become the person I am. So in math, there's always an answer. So that's where I dived in so deeply, finding out how to hack math, how to figure things out. And from that, I always know there's an answer to everything in life. So if I'm not finding it, I'm not searching enough. And there's a quote by Albert Einstein: it's not that you have to be smart, it's just that you have to stay with your problem so long. So that's what's needed. We're so impatient sometimes with our problems. I learned to be patient. I learned to slow myself down. And from that, I learned that everything is solvable. There are times I feel like I can't do it, but I tell myself in the next breath, no, stay with it, figure it out.
how do you get to that mindset? Because staying with it, figuring it out, becoming patient, how did you get to that mindset?
It's a muscle. It's like going to the gym. It doesn't come right away, right? It's like you got to work on it. You got to get tough. it's you got to lift more weight and practice with it. But definitely, giving up is not an option. Like your life is special. Like my life was special. I didn't know at that time, right? Every one of us, our life is given to us for a reason, and you're here for a reason. And you're here for some, maybe it's to help someone else. It could be, right? So if that might not be obvious to you. Like for me, I was like, it wasn't obvious at the age of 13. I felt like I was the wrong person to be here. I'm not serving anybody. I'm not going to be good for anybody. So I had all these mind stories that were
Mhm.
corrupting my mindset. So that's why I work on with, even in my methodology, it's about shifting your mind stories. Like what stories are you telling yourself? Every
Mm.
story matters.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm going to give a great example of something I did to help to shift some of that. I grew up in a very volatile, abusive, alcoholic household. And with that, came a lot of fear for my, like I had a lot of fear. I became a people pleaser. And it was only about a couple years ago, probably about age 57, that I had this realization that the story I've been telling, my life story that I've been telling all these decades, has been the same story. But in order for me to be able to even start to come to a place of forgiveness of my dad and to come to a place of gratitude, because we talk about gratitude a lot in this, personal development space, is in order for me to do that, I had to start to tell a different story. So what I did for the last 100 days of the year, a couple of years ago, is I would tell the story as I had been telling it, and then I shifted the story. So I would tell the story from the perspective of thinking of my dad. For example, I'll give a great example. My dad used to take us fishing, and you can see in all the pictures that I was absolutely miserable. Like I had this long face, I was miserable, and he would take us fishing, and I just hated those moments. Anything that we did with my dad, I just did not like it because he was abusive. And so then I decided I'm going to retell the story. I'm going to tell the story from my dad's perspective, is that, my dad took us fishing because he loved us and wanted to spend time with us. That's why he was doing this. I was interpreting it in one way. And then, so I forgave him for those moments that I was angry with him. And then I had gratitude in the moment that he took us because he loved us. And that's why he did it. Is this the true story? I don't know. He's not alive for me to even ask, but I shifted the story so that I could now see my dad as a human being instead of a monster. So that, yeah, the stories that we tell ourselves, right? It's so powerful. And then so shifting out of that, we only have a couple minutes left, but I'd love for you to tell us, like, how do you work with people in order to get them to that place? What is your program all about? Why don't you tell everybody what your program is about?
Yeah, I have three different programs. One is working directly with parents and students. The other one is training the teachers to work with parents and students as a learning success coach, which is basically what we just talked about, is shifting those stories. We want, children are growing with their own stories. We start to make our own stories. And there's always someone, one of the gurus that I follow, one of them said that we create more stories than the Hollywood could ever produce, like each of us. Yeah, so that's how many stories we create on a daily basis, and we create it and we narrate it as we want it, because that's all we know, because it comes from only one perspective, which is our own perspective and the lens we put on. And however we feel, however we're getting treated, we're going to create those stories to validate every feeling we have. Like, I mean, like you just shared, right, Linda? It's exactly the same way, but we are able to shift it. Just like in the Hollywood, we can just change the script. We can
Right.
change it. We can change it, and we can create a better movie out of it, or best to suit our needs and what it's required. So that's the methodology, which I call talking to your brain. Talk to your brain, which is what the my coaches get certified under, and then they work with the parents and students. The other one is, I've been an online entrepreneur for 11 years. I know the struggle of establishing an online presence as an entrepreneur. It's such huge. And again, mindset comes to play every day of it, because uncertainty is so high, right? You're putting yourself
Yeah.
out onto a place where you're not comfortable, even to putting yourself out there. So I've done the journey over the 11 years. I'm now ready to help others. In that journey, they could be new entrepreneurs or struggling entrepreneurs. They could have books, they could have talks out there, but they don't know how to monetize it. They don't know what to do next. What do I do with this stuff? Where do I make my money, and how do I make it? So I help in a holistic way. I work with them to shift their stories and shift their mindset and create that mindset that's required for them to succeed as entrepreneurs.
Awesome. And thank you so much for what you do. Why don't you share with us, what is your website?
So I have two websites. Learningsuccesscoaches.com is for the teachers, and learningsuccessacademy.com is for the parents and students, and then holisticaimarketing.com for the entrepreneurs. Yeah, so
Okay,
three.
fantastic.
Three.
Now, gosh, oh my gosh, we're running out of time. I didn't even talk about your chapter. So your chapter is called Navigating Life's Roller Coaster, which is funny because we saw each other this weekend and there was a roller coaster there. So that's kind of funny. So secrets to building a life that feeds forward. So you want to share with us just like a short synopsis of what that chapter title means.
Yeah, I definitely used my story as an example, because I want you to know that we all have our stories and sometimes we don't say it. So being vulnerable, I hope you can see why I'm sharing that. Through that, what I wanted to also share with you is, as I was writing this chapter, I started coming up with an acronym, like all the things that helped me to never give up, feel like everything is solvable, and how I, every day strengthen that muscle that says everything is solvable. I given the people who's going to read this chapter an acronym, which is never give up. So I hope you read that in the book and use it in your life, because it is definitely has helped me, and it is all about shifting the stories. It's nothing more. And if you can gain the power of your mind, if you can control your mind, you can play any game you want. Any
Mm.
game. Any game.
Any game. And I like games. We like games, as
Yes.
children, we love games. I love games as adults. Go to actiontakerspublishing.com/never. And Kohila, you have a free gift over there as well for our viewers. So what is your free gift? Share with us.
So I'm giving a 45-minute free holistic coaching call with anyone who's interested. and reading the chapters. It's we have what, 20 chapters in this book, is that
I
right?
believe so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So after reading the 20 chapters, you're going to be fired up. And if you want to, shift your stories, book a call with me and then we'll take it from there. I believe in holistic. Everything has to be holistic, otherwise it doesn't make sense in life. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make dollars.
And we won't do it. And we
Thank,
will give up.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Many times, I've given up many, many times, but I'm, tired of that because I don't get great results when I give up. So, thank you so much for being part of this book, being part of my life. I truly
Thank
appreciate you,
you.
everything you do. Again, go get your copy of Never Give Up Today, going to actiontakerspublishing.com/never. Cash in on the free gifts that the authors are giving over there, and you really, make this shift in your own life so that you also become a never give upper. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. Again, go get a copy of the book. We've got the Kindle version available for $1.99 US, as well as those free gifts. We'll see you all soon.